The clockmaker's gift. It was raining the day Maya's world seemed to collapse. Not a soft drizzle that made the streets glisten, but the kind of rain that hammered the earth, turning sidewalks into rivers and thunder into a drum roll for disasters yet to come. Maya stood outside her office building, clutching a cardboard box that carried the last 7 years of her life, a mug, some pens, a stack of files she would probably never need again. She had been fired, just like that. One meeting, one, "I'm sorry, it's not working out." One exit interview where they said, "We wish you all the best," as if those words could soften the ground she was plummeting toward. She walked aimlessly through the city, her hair plastered to her face, her shoes squelching with every step. People hurried past her with umbrellas, too absorbed in their own storms to notice hers. And that was when she saw it. Tucked between a boarded-up bookstore and a neon-lit pawn shop was a door she had never noticed before. It was painted a deep green, with gold letters etched into the wood. The clockmaker. Something about it called to her. Maybe it was the rain driving her inside. Maybe it was desperation. Or maybe, as she would later believe, it was destiny. She pushed the door open. The shop was dimly lit, smelling faintly of oil and old wood. Hundreds of clocks lined the walls, their ticking overlapping into a strange kind of music. Grandfather clocks with carved faces, pocket watches that glittered under glass domes, cuckoo clocks with tiny wooden birds frozen mid-song. At the counter sat an old man with silver hair, glasses perched on the tip of his nose. He looked up as Maya entered, as if he had been expecting her. "Ah," he said softly. "Right on time." Maya frowned. Sorry, I just needed to get out of the rain." The man smiled. "Of course. Everyone who comes here does. Sit." Against her better judgment, Maya set her box on the counter and sank into a creaky wooden chair. The old man studied her carefully. "Rough day?" "You could say that," she muttered. He nodded knowingly. Then, without another word, he disappeared into the back of the shop. When he returned, he held a small wooden clock, no bigger than her palm. Its face was ivory white, its hands delicate, its frame carved with tiny swirling patterns that seemed to move when she wasn't looking directly at them. "This," he said, placing it in front of her, "is not an ordinary clock." Maya raised an eyebrow. "Looks pretty ordinary to me." The man chuckled. "That's what everyone says at first. But this clock doesn't just tell time. It gives time. A second chance, to be precise. One moment in your past, rewritten, one choice undone, one path corrected." Maya stared at him. "You can't be serious." "Completely serious," he replied. "You wind it once, you hold it to your heart, and you think of the moment you would change. It will take you there, not for long, just enough to nudge the wheel of fate." She wanted to laugh, to walk out, to tell him he was crazy. But something in his eyes, calm, steady, knowing, kept her in her seat. "What's the catch?" she asked. "The catch," he said, "is that time always demands balance. You cannot erase pain without accepting another form of it. You cannot steal from fate without fate stealing back. Are you willing to pay that price?" Maya thought of the moment she had lost her mother to a car accident when she was 16. She thought of the college scholarship she had turned down out of fear. She thought of the man she had loved and lost. because she was too scared to say the words. "Yes," she whispered, "I am." The old man slid the clock toward her, then wind it. Her hands trembled as she turned the tiny golden key. The ticking grew louder. The shop seemed to dissolve around her, the clocks blurring into streaks of light. And then she was standing on a street corner, a familiar one. Her heart clenched. She knew this day. She was 16 again, standing outside her high school. Her mother was across the street, waving at her from the old blue sedan. Tears filled Maya's eyes. This was the day of the accident, the day everything changed. The light turned green. Her mother stepped off the curb. Maya's voice ripped from her throat before she even thought. "Mom, wait!" Her mother froze, confused, and just then a truck sped through the red light, missing her by inches. The world seemed to stop. Her mother looked back at her, bewildered, but alive. Alive. Maya felt something shift inside her. Relief, joy, a second chance. And then she was back in the shop, the little clock silent in her hands. She gasped. It worked. "She's alive. I saved her." The old man nodded solemnly. "For now." Maya blinked. "What do you mean, for now?" "Balance," he reminded her. "Time has to take what it is owed." That night, Maya rushed home. She dialed her mother's number with shaking fingers, and when she heard her voice on the other end, warm, alive, Maya broke down, sobbing. For the next few weeks, everything felt perfect. Her mother was back. They laughed. They cooked together. They talked about everything they had missed. But then the shadows crept in. Her best friend stopped returning calls. At work, people acted as if she didn't exist. And one night, when she looked in the mirror for just a second, her reflection didn't move with her. It hit her slowly, like a sickness spreading. The balance. Time had spared her mother, but it was erasing Maya. She returned to the shop in desperation. "Please," she begged the old man, "take it back." "I don't want this any more." The clockmaker shook his head. "Once wound, it cannot be undone, only replaced. Another moment changed, another trade made." Maya's tears fell hot on the counter. "But if I change something else, won't it just take more from me?" He placed a gentle hand on hers. "That is the lesson, child. Every tick is a cost, every tock a choice. Time is not a gift, it is a loan." Maya looked down at the clock in her hands. For the first time, she saw it for what it truly was. Not salvation, not hope, but temptation. And slowly, with a strength she didn't know she had, she set it back on the counter. "No," she said, her voice firm. "I'll keep my pain. It's mine, and I'll carry it." The old man smiled, a sad, proud smile. "Then you have understood what most never do. Go now, and live." When Maya stepped outside, the rain had stopped, the clouds had parted, and though her world was still imperfect, still heavy, it was hers again. She never saw the shop again. Some say it moves, appearing only to those who need it most. But sometimes, when she passes an old clock ticking softly in someone's house, Maya swears she hears the echo of that man's voice, right on time.